God bless you that every day you are with Hope Channel. More importantly, on Love at Home. Yes, it's another beautiful Tuesday, and we are still in the month of October. This means that we are still wrapping in our pink because we are talking about breasts. Hey, we all have breasts, even the men, they do have breasts. That is why it is important that in the month of October, we take time to discuss this organ God has given to us. So it is so relevant that this is where we were all fed from. It's so relevant that it produces or gives us milk for our survival. And that is why in the month of October, we are discussing breasts. Yes, you heard me right. We are discussing breasts. Last week, we looked at breast care and its significance. And Doctor and Madam, they took us through so many things, how to take care of the breast. And today, we are discussing the family and breastfeeding. I am Efia Sewa Mansa. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, you start the discussion. Do not leave the dial. Remember, you can join us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on your set. Call in your family. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
In a world filled with scarcity of peace and rest, but rich in chaos and pains, we cannot but ask the question, when will it all be over? Well, there is good news. Be cheerful, for we are almost home. Our home that brings an end to pain, tears and sorrow. A place where serenity reigns and joy abound. Hope Channel, in collaboration with the West Central Africa Division and Eastern Nigeria Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, brings you a 2-week revival program taking place at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Mile 3, Port Harcourt, from 20th of October to 4th of November 2023. Come and have a sharing with Pastor Holland as he points us all on our way to the eternal home.
The Bible is clear in Revelation chapter 13 that there is a revival coming to this earth that will sweep across the world, that will deceive many, and Matthew 24 says will deceive, if possible, the very elect of God.
The program will be aired live on Hope Channel across all of Africa and the world. It will also be streamed live on YouTube and Facebook at Pentecost 2023. Come and get your breakthrough from despair and worries. Come and join our proclamation of hope to a broken world. Come and get the true assurance that we are almost home.
Praise the Lord, we're almost home.
Oh, my dear, thank you so much for waiting on us. You are welcome back. And the program is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. You know, the initial baby food recommended for children is the breast milk. There is the need for us to discuss breast milk, for that matter, the breast. And that is why today, or in this episode, we want to look at how we can get breast milk. And most importantly, how well we can also take care of the breast. That is why today, to help me do this discussion, I have my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful midwife, Madam Esther Asantuakutu, Mami in pink. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing very
Okay, so
well.
your spectacle is pink, your watch is pink, your dress is pink. You are really repping the
I'm
pink.
repping pink.
Ah, yeah.
I'm really repping pink.
I saw you on TikTok and you were so seriously talking about breast cancer. God bless you.
Thank you very
God
much.
bless you.
Amen.
Now, my other beautiful guest is Madam Janet Owusu-Heme. She is pediatric nurse specialist. Mami, who are you called? Yeah, Mama Moni, we thank you so much for the wonderful and the good jobs you are doing for Mother Ghana and for our children, for our mothers as well. God bless you, and you are welcome to Love at Home.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And you and your family out there, you are also welcome, and I thank you so much for waiting on us. Last week, we looked at what the breast is and its significance. And I remember doctor told us that that organ is made up of fat. My dear, what is it about? Why do we have that? What is this important for it, of it?
Okay, so Thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you.
And then we are still repping the pink month. We are still repping it. Last week I listened to Dr. and then he really explained a lot of things to us. Looking at the breast, he made us understand that it has 3 components and then has fats too. And then these fats are there to help in the milk production.
Okay.
When it comes to women.
Okay.
It helps in the milk production when it comes to women. And then these fats there, all the time, you realize that the size of the woman's breast differs from that of the man because the woman has a lot of fat at the breast area as compared to the man. This will help in the production of breast milk. And then other things also come into place where we have the ducts, we have the lobules, we have the connective tissues and other parts of the components of the breast that helps in breast production. Yeah,
so, my dear, technically, when we say breastfeeding, generally, what is it about?
Okay. Breastfeeding is an English word. It's made up of 2 basic words that has been put together, which is the breast and feeding. So technically, it means the use of the breast to provide nutrition for the newborn. And this takes place immediately the baby is born. Breast milk production actually starts during the 16th week in pregnancy. And so it means that immediately the baby is born, the baby is put on the mother's abdomen. And then you immediately see signs of readiness to feed. That is when the baby starts positioning or looking for the breast. Immediately the baby latches on the breast milk begins to flow.
Wow.
That is how God made it.
This is wonderful.
Because the breast milk has already been prepared from the 16th week of pregnancy till delivery. So immediately the baby is born, latches on the breast, then breast milk begins to flow.
Do you want to add something to it?
Yes. So with the breastfeeding, most of the time, as my sister said, it starts at as early as 16 weeks. You will see this yellowish, it looks like yellow lemon color secretion coming out of your breast as early as 16 weeks. That means that the breast is really prepared to feed the baby after delivery. And then it comes immediately. When you come to midwifery, you realize that the first 30 minutes of the baby's life is very, very important. Because when you position a baby at the early stages of her life, his or her life, you realize that the breast milk or the milk starts to produce at that early stage. And then you can easily, I always say that it is not necessary the baby is feeding directly from the breast itself, but we can go to the extent of expressing the breast milk for the baby to be fed on. And then this is human milk that we are talking about because the baby is being fed on a human being. So the human is rather producing this milk for the baby. And then it provides the baby with all the nutrients that the baby needs for the growth and the development of the child. Yes.
This is wonderful. My lovely viewer, let me remind you that you can join the discussion on Facebook, on YouTube, and on 0559-680066. That's our WhatsApp line. You can send in your question, your suggestion to that line, and we will surely go through with that. Now, supposing a baby is not able to get the first breast milk, is there any issue with that? Yeah.
The first breast milk, as my sister said, is the yellowish or the lemon-colored breast milk, which is called the colostrum.
Okay.
Actually, it is the first part that the baby feeds on immediately the baby is born. And it is highly nutritious, contains a lot of immunoglobulins, antibiotics, and then anti-allergens.
Oh.
So it's very, very essential in the early days of the baby's life. When we talk about colostrum or breast milk, you see that during the olden days, our mothers fed us exclusively on breast milk. And so there were no more or lots of issues about allergies and other things. That is why we are all on set this evening and then we are looking beautiful.
Say it again.
But currently in our situation, you see a lot of babies moving from doctor to doctor with a lot of conditions. Some are even up to the point of being allergic to corn, being allergic to granules, and a lot of things. And mothers are still searching for the cause of these allergens. But unfortunately, it's due to our inability to get those nutrients or antibiotics during the early days.
Okay.
Yes.
So those days when we say that one is not good, you have to press it and throw it away. It was wrong.
Very, very,
Very,
wrong.
very wrong.
Oh.
Because studies have shown that that time or the colostrum contains a lot of nutrients, antibodies, immunoglobulins, and then anti-allergens, which was very, very important for the growth of the child.
Oh, thank you for the education. Now, Esther, let me know, can we have abnormalities during breastfeeding, I mean, in the breast?
Yes, a lot of them.
Okay.
We have a lot of
Then you need to share a
abnormalities.
lot with us.
We have a lot of abnormalities during breastfeeding that a lot of women go through. That even prevents them from going further to breastfeed their baby. So I will start with, sometimes they have the breast, engorged breast. You realize that the breast becomes so tensed because the baby is not able to feed, or the mother is not ready to feed the baby with the breast milk. Therefore, there's an accumulation of this breast, this milk stuck in there, and then it's not able to come out. And then also we have a condition where we refer to as the cracked or the sore nipple. This results as when the baby is not able to attach itself to the areola, the darkened parts of the breast. So the baby feeds on the nipple rather. And then whilst doing that, the baby makes the gum of the baby's teeth. You feel that the baby is present more on that. And then it makes the baby feel so comfortable that he feels that, okay, that is the part I'm supposed to feed on. Therefore, I'm okay. By the end of the day, it's causing harm to the mother.
No, say it again. Now, let me change it slightly. Where you said that baby a year black and
Black and all.
how should the baby sign a baby no sum na
So we talk about positioning and attachment of the baby to the breast.
Okay.
So it's how the mother positions herself well and positions the baby well to attach itself to the breast.
Okay, to send your day akwada na beto ne nsa so na
Aha,
watene na no
good.
E de na ko baby anofo no
Good. Na kwara so aso no fo ni mu ye.
Okay.
Making sure say tuntun ne dodo na konenum.
Okay.
The darkened part, a lot of them is in the baby's mouth. That is where the areola is. Tuntum na hona milk ni go. So if the baby is able to lunch well on it, then the baby will be able to take in a lot of breast milk from there.
Okay.
But if the baby is not able to do that, then it causes a lot of lacerations, and then
What is laceration?
like a crow.
as
a sore, as a crow, ewo honum. So once a mother ne won't feel comfortable to breastfeed
because
the
it
baby.
will be paining here
Good.
then yeah.
Never manufo na sheshe, which is the
Okay.
engorged breast.
Okay.
So when it happens like that, then it can result in something called mastitis, inflammation of the
Okay.
breast.
Okay.
That is where you feel pain.
Okay.
You feel the redness there. Mother feels feverish. Into one person because of the pain that she's going through. But when you get to that stage, that mastitis stage, then we advise that you need to see a specialist. You need to see a medical doctor for further management, because at that time you can't breastfeed the baby anymore because of the signs of inflammation or the signs, should I say, sore. If someone has a sore, you realize that the person goes through a lot of stages. The place becomes red, the person feels pain over there, and then the person also feels that I'm not okay, I don't feel comfortable with myself. I feel this hotness, like feverish. So you have to let the person see a doctor for further investigation and then further management.
Janet, do you want to add something?
Yes, please. When the pregnant woman visits the antenatal unit, there are a lot of examinations that they do. And one of these examinations is mainly with the breast. And so during that time, during the examination of the breast, there's something that we called inverted nipple. As a
Abokum.
Yes.
Okay.
And so during the examination period, when it's detected, the mother is taught how to bring the nipple out.
Please teach us, how should we do it?
Okay. Assuming I have inverted my nipple no abokum, anofia no abokum.
Okay.
So the midwife teaches the mother, okofia fankuto. Then
Share butter.
Yes. To just bring, you touch on the areola and then you start pulling the nipple out.
Okay.
That is from antenatal.
Good.
Good. Now,
Kakra. All right.
It takes time.
Okay.
So we start that one during pregnancy till the baby is delivered. At that time, even if you don't have enough, you have a little. So that the baby will get enough space to latch on the darker parts, which is the areola, to prevent cracked nipples, engorged breast, and then ending in mastitis, as my sister said.
Okay. So are these the only abnormalities in the breast during breastfeeding, or there are more?
Okay, so during breastfeeding, these are the abnormalities, but without breastfeeding, we have other.
Okay, so without, we will go to the without later on. Now, mothers are someone who would like to breastfeed their babies for a period. What is the recommended period for breastfeeding?
So basically, we always educate our pregnant women exclusive breastfeeding, which is a duration of from birth through to 6 months exclusively, without any water, without any infant feed or baby foods. This is what we refer to as exclusive breastfeeding, and it takes a period of 6 months. And then you continue with the complementary feeds till 1.5 years or 2 years of the child's life. So mother is really, really obliged to breastfeed the baby, importantly, within this period of time, which is at birth through to 6 months, exclusively. Because we believe that at that point in time, as my sister said, the breast milk contains a lot of nutrients. It has protein in it, it has vitamins in it, it has carbohydrates. The things that we get, the nutrients that we get from the daily foods that we eat as adults, it is contained in that breast milk at that point in time. So if you deprive the baby at that point in time, you are causing harm to the child or to the infant. Yes. So every mother is really obliged.
I mean, Janet, in the school, they are you are saying it's only the breast milk. The breast milk, and you are saying it contains nutrients. Nutrients is food. So where is the baby going to get water to drink when he or she is thirsty?
Yes. Previously, our mothers used to tell us that one of the breasts is water and one of the breasts is food. But research has shown that it's not like that.
Ah, okay.
The more the baby feeds, we encourage mothers to empty one breast before they move on to the other one. That is what now we are preaching. Not that we feed slightly on one and then you move to the other. You see, their philosophy is that as you start feeding, the milk is heavy. But as that one is called the fore milk, it is heavier because of the nutrients in it. And as you move back, that is the hind milk, getting to the latter parts where you are trying to empty it, you get it lighter. And that is the watery part. So the breast milk is not only food, so that you add that supplemental water, but both food and water. That's why we have the fore milk and then the hind milk.
So how can families support breastfeeding in this stipulated period of 6 months you're talking about? Looking at the environment, you have to go to work now. And we need to put food on the table. And you're saying I should breastfeed for 6 months. How can I do this?
So,
what support do you require from family members for women or breastfeeding mothers during this time?
Okay, so when a woman comes in labor, usually we ask that the woman should come with a partner or any other form of relative that she feels comfortable with, because there are some educations that we give that we are supposed to give collectively. I always say that we need to do away with some mental models that when it comes to breastfeeding, it's only women's business. No, it is a collective something that the husband is involved, other family members are involved. They come in place to help the mother to breastfeed the baby well. So after delivery, and the mother is being discharged home, we have education for them where we teach them the importance of breastfeeding together with the family, so that when they go, because of the knowledge that they have acquired in the hospital, they'll be able to put it into practice by encouraging the woman, especially with the husband, giving the wife words of encouragement. My dear, you can do it. Sometimes they find it difficult to position the baby well, for the baby to attach itself to the breast.
Especially when the woman herself is going through some pain.
Yes.
If she had some cuts or some cesarean, and he can't even set in position, it becomes difficult even to hold the baby. So you give all this education.
Give that education to the family as a whole, so that they can, when they go home, they'll be able to support the mother to help in the breast milk production. So we give them this education post-delivery when they are about to be discharged. And then when they go home, they try to implement them. So the husband will also have to help the woman with the house chores. Maybe you have 2 or 3 children at home. The husband can also take care of the children, whilst the mother will have adequate or ample time to breastfeed the baby. Because when it comes to breastfeeding, it's a demand and supply business. Yes, the baby demands for it. You have to supply. If the baby is demanding and then you are doing something else, maybe you are washing, you are attending to the kids and other form of activity that you go through in the day, then the body will tell the brain that, oh, they don't need the breast milk anymore. Therefore, it will stop producing.
Oh.
Yes. Or even if it produces, it wouldn't be as much as it used to be. So we need to support them. Psychologically, you need to support them. Physically, with the house chores, we need to support them. And then you also ensure that they have adequate rest. They have adequate rest. And the mother is free from stress. If the mother is stressed, the brain is not working well. And then breast milk will not be able to produce.
Hey, so it's the whole body we are talking
It's the
about.
whole body.
Even though it is just this one organ.
It's the whole body.
Mami Janet, tell me more.
You see, breastfeeding is very, very stressful, especially in the night.
Yay.
Babies tend to breastfeed a lot in the night.
Why that? Everybody is sleeping. They should be sleeping now.
I don't know. But, and so the family support really comes in during the night. Mothers don't sleep. And so during the day, when babies are asleep, they have to support the mother to also have some sleep, as my sister said, so that she can be able to produce a lot. And so what we encourage is storage. You express and then you store. So that during the day, whilst you are resting, other significant others like the father, the grandmother or something can also feed the baby from the expressed breast milk.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the extraction, how we can express and store. How safe are we sure that the containers they are storing these breast milk will also not be contaminated for further complications? How is education done?
Okay, so it all boils down to the post-delivery education that we give. Because looking at, as she said, we need to go out, work, and then bring money home. Therefore, we advise them that when you have to express the milk, you need to get a clean, make sure that you wash it very well with clean water and then soap. And then it should be something that has a lid, has a cover to cover it. And then with that, you can store it in the fridge at room temperature.
Oh, until you me the fridge.
Oh, yes. Obetimi the fridge. Obetimi the freezer. Obetimi so they see a damn normal room temperature. It be lasted for some time. Whether over normal room temperature, a damn in the room, it's lasts around 4 hours.
Okay.
After 4 hours, you are supposed to discard it because you are no longer using it. And then with the fridge, it can last for about weeks.
Ah.
Yes, you can have it about weeks. And then in the freezer, 6 to about 12 months.
Okay.
Yes, you can even store
so
it
what
at
it means
time.
that when there is light off, I mean, when you do not have light and you've stored the milk there, then you also ushigu.
It was also good, especially in the fridge, because it be 4 hours nature.
Okay.
In the room temperature, 4 hours, you are no longer using it. You're supposed to throw it away.
Okay.
And in the fridge for about a week or some months, you're supposed to discard it. Yes.
Really?
In this era, as I say, I said, do so samba. I think that's coming because yes, it happens like that. So when you're no longer using it, and then something is preventing you from using it, and then it has taken a longer period of time, the duration that you're supposed to store it has passed. Please discard it because it's no longer safe for the baby.
Do we have to warm it once you are putting it in the fridge and freezer?
Yes, because of infection prevention.
And at what temperature?
Yes. What we do with breast milk is we use the accounting principles. First in, first out.
Oh, FIFO.
So you don't keep it in bulky containers. Okay. That is one thing. Every mother knows the quantity of feed that the baby takes at a go. So you store in small bottles.
Okay.
Then you number them. So you number 1, number 2, number 3 subsequently, like that.
It is a feeding bottle kitwana me debe gumwa.
If it's maybe 60 mils, good.
Number 1, number 2,
number 3, just number like that.
Okay.
Then you educate whoever will be giving it to the baby. You take number 1 first. Then you feed baby. If you want to take again, don't go to number 4, but you take number 2. Like that. So first in, first out.
Okay.
And then about the reheating and other things, what we do is, if it's in the freezer, we normally educate, you feed 2 to 3 hours interval. So maybe you just fed your baby 8 p.m. You know that your next feeding will be taking place at maybe 11 p.m. By 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., you just bring the the breast milk out for it to settle naturally, defrost.
So you
Not
take it
in
from the fridge,
Fridge.
and put it outside,
Outside
the fridge. Even from the freezer to outside.
Yes, so that
Okay.
it will thaw
Okay.
naturally.
Okay.
Then, if no ice, immediately you're about to give, you just keep it in warm water to prevent it being cold.
Tienfen jaso.
Patcho
Emma ni unhu.
Patcho Debbie. We don't even want to add heat to destroy any nutrients in it. And so you bring it out. When you're about to give it to the baby, you put it in warm water to just take the cold out. Then you feed.
Okay.
Then what you do about leftover? When there's leftover, maybe you fed 3 hours, the next feeding you want to give to the baby, but she couldn't take all the 50 mils. Maybe you are left with 20 mils. You can keep it for only 2 hours. After 2 hours, if baby is not ready to feed, you
So
have
you
to
have
discard.
lots like that.
Yes, because it is milk that we are dealing with.
Mami Janet, can you kind to see any view? So one nom 50 liters, one nom 30, I cut 20. 20 no one day.
20 na aka no. Yes, I find chef fridge mu bi. Yeah, the best ho. So once about 2 hours pay, you have to discard. Also to here to go because I say then you have to go for a new one from the fridge.
This is interesting. Now, you earlier on mentioned you've been saying that the breast milk is good. Yeah. It's nutritious. What is in the breast milk that makes it, I mean, good for the baby?
Okay, so initially I said that with the breast milk, it contains a lot of nutrients. 90% of it is water. The breast milk, 90% of it is water. And it also contains proteins, it has carbohydrates in it, it has vitamins, it has fats, minerals.
These things you are mentioning, what will it do to the baby? Oh, no,
It will help. So with this all together help in the growth and then development of the baby.
Okay.
It helps the baby to grow well. And then my sister will always say that when it comes to breastfeeding, it's the foundation of the baby. It is the foundation of the baby. If you deprive the baby of breastfeeding, then you realize that the growth of the baby becomes impeded. Let's take an example when you are building. You start with the foundation. The whole building depends on the foundation. So if the foundation is not strong, then the building is likely to collapse. We compare that with the breast milk. If you don't give the baby the adequate breast milk that the baby needs, then it means
the
that
word adequate.
Adequate, because you need to breastfeed the baby very well. You need to breastfeed the baby very well. So if you are not doing all these things, you are putting the life of the baby at risk, at risk of infection. But if the baby is feeding very well, getting all the nutrients, then this baby will be free from infections like diarrhea, infections like lung infections, ear infections, any other form of infections that the baby is likely to suffer from, or even allergies, as my sister talked about. So breastfeeding is very, very important because of the nutrients. And also ensures that there's bonding between the mother and then the baby. You realize that during breastfeeding, a lot of times mothers have to look at the baby, smile to them, talk with them, see a lot of things. Even during that period, the mother is able to pick out certain changes that is occurring in the baby. So it helps in bonding. And then when it comes to the development, the mental development of the child, you realize that they perform very well in school. They really do perform very well in school. So breast milk, in fact, is really, really, really important in the infant's life.
Yeah, Mami Esther has mentioned the health benefits of the breast milk to the baby and then the mother. Do you want to add on?
Yes, to the mother especially. Most of our mothers are reluctant to breastfeed.
Okay, why?
Some people feel that their breast will sag.
Not for now, so they want they GRDO.
Because maybe when it sags, their husbands will run away.
Oh,
But
so
it's not like that.
okay, so from here you advise the men to.
Exactly.
Thank you. All right.
Nature in its own way, when you grow, all your body increases in size and in shape, everything. As we are aging, you come back to your square one, like, let me say that. There is something that we call atrophy. Muscles will start shrinking. And breast too, we have muscles, and we have tissues and other things. So definitely, it will also shrink. So my question to mothers is that it is not the breastfeeding that will make your breast sag.
Hey, you've not seen how some of the babies will suck the thing. They will pull then you see that, hey, no, this boy or this baby, the way he's sucking the thing, he's mismanaging the thing.
The breast. It's true. But still, some people have their breasts being managed by their kids like that, but still, it is still the same thing.
Okay.
But when they grow, it will sag.
Okay.
So you should give it to them.
Okay.
Because when you breastfeed adequately, it even serves as a family planning method. We have lactational amenorrhea. That one is strict like that. Some people will say, I did it, but after 2 months, 3 months, or 1 year, my menses was, no. Some people, no water, we feed on demand like that.
So that's one of the health benefits to the woman.
Yes.
Please, we want more of that.
It prolongs the
spacing.
Yes.
Child
spacing. Minimum of 2 years. That's how far some people can go when you feed adequately. And then breastfeeding also takes a lot of calories from the mother. So sometimes you feed more for the baby to breastfeed. But we are scared that we put on weight. And so people don't want to feed more. Today we are learning that breastfeeding will let you lose calories. Adequate breastfeeding. So you are losing a lot of nutrients from your body nankasa. You lose in your no bebre few ni peduanim. And unti a chum ema wankasa osote.
Okay. No osote wo kwan papa so.
Osote wo kwan papa.
Yes wo yare.
Na bi. Ya dwen dada ne say ema ye kese because ye didi bebre. But so uma oba ne num yi a wankasa kra osote. And so you see that those who breastfeed for a longer period, like 1.5 years, 2 years, naturally they reduce in weight. Although initially you put on weight, from 1 year going, because the baby is feeding more, you tend to lose weight. Okay. That is natural.
Okay. Okay. All right. So my lovely viewer, a mayor can be brave, a train, a fight, and no phone, a baby, ye motor for our no phone. Say a more no phone, we say near Nipa, any new pa, a one no phone. And soon your mapa, by Marco than any ye, ne a be na dream or Kosukua, or betting a young couldn't before baby Bian, a was sign your money. And into my young ma and mofran, yet a so ye no phone a bessay, and won't see a mamma mofran and no phone. Ye more no ye, ye no my cosa. And Sanya Baba Koso, Sanya Beya, and your man was up of Franinia, no didn't ye no between ye. Made enough sounds for you so. Near Train Husima, we are going for a quick break. And when we come back, we are continuing with our discussion. But remember to send in your questions and contributions to 0559680066. 0559680066. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Remember, we are still discussing the family and breastfeeding. Thank you.
Every individual has a story. Stories of social issues such as infertility.
You did not marry your wife only because she's going to give you a child. You married because you loved her. Whatever comes on your plate, you're ready to accept that.
Abuse, obesity, life struggles, and others can be very frustrating. That is why Real Talk is back again with another exciting season where individuals like you can come into our studio or join us virtually to share your story and experience. To share your story, you can reach us through our WhatsApp number at 0559 680 066, or you can email us at hoptvghana@gmail.com. We say don't lock them away. If you ignore them, they can just get angrier and louder.
Hi. Do you know that alcohol is the most abused drug on earth? Do you also know that smoking a cigarette may take 11 minutes of your lifespan? Do you have someone who is psychologically derailed or mentally ill? Do you know that 1 out of 4 women is abused daily? Do you know that now it's common for children under 12 years to smoke and drink? Do you know someone who is addicted and is struggling to overcome addiction? Then there's a good news. The Wounds of the Heart is bringing you qualified practitioners, personnel who understand certain situations. We meet them in their offices, at their homes, at their comfort zone, and right here on our studios. Make a date with me this and every Wednesday at 4 p.m. right here on Hope Channel.
Thank you so much, and you're welcome back. You are watching Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. Remember, we are still in the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we are repping in our pink, creating the awareness that the breast is important. So let's take good care of it. And we are still discussing the family and breastfeeding. I have Madam Esther and Madam Janet here. They are teaching us the importance of the breast milk and how we should manage or take care of our breasts. And when we were living, they were trying to tell us what the breast, the nutrients the breast contains. Now, I want to know, Mami Esther, is it appropriate? Okay, what kind of foods should we be eating when we are pregnant? When we are pregnant, to be sure that we are going to get sanofusun. You are never ye senebeya ye benya you ne power no funum amaye ma say wo.
Okay, so when it comes to pregnancy, most of the time we advise that you eat healthy, balanced diet. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is, say wasoya no pa. You don't have to skip your breakfast. Obi our fire from then what's skip your breakfast. Therefore, you're supposed to take in a lot of grains containing foods like porridge in the morning. With the porridge, now so at least brodo kakra eka ho. Ebi a watching nkosua ana one nkosua e de aka ho. During the day, what pe fruits be? Te say watermelon, mango, any fruits be a we are comfortable with. Now we di. Enumere what pe aduane emu odu kakra. Obo prefer so be di banku na wase o ma nkwan aduane donso nkwan aduane ne nyense nkwan bi akeke obo ono ma nkwan odi hwenim because eyendo nkwan wari mu na mu nyina ewie but ehura ma hode no na wo mu nyina all the nutrients are no longer in it. Therefore, you are supposed to ensure that you eat well. Induane hotel Indiana, you are not allergic to. Indiana Yankopon Sha Samaye, and I was say O Christo New Year Udi, and also painful was a wedding Udi. And you duani biakeke. And Yakasi didn't tell ma a duano in huge or in large quantity. Banco between the Banco Bear 4 at a go with hot pepper. Hot pepper no shane come. That's the food that the person will eat throughout the whole day. And it's no good. It does not even help you whilst you are pregnant, because you need blood. You need blood to ensure that the baby also lives healthy in there. Therefore, you're supposed to eat food that will boost your HB and also moja level. No, you're supposed to eat food like that. So fruits, vegetables. You're supposed to take in a lot of fluids. To say in so when you take something like watermelon. Also, watermelon has a lot of water in it. So most of the time I advise that if you can't tolerate normal water, you can substitute it with watermelon juice or maybe coconut juice. It also helps in keeping you healthy, and it also prepares the body well when the baby comes, so that it will help you breastfeed very well after delivery. Yeah, so you need to eat very well. You need to eat healthy.
All right. Now let me continue with the same question. When you've been asked to take Nyania Ebema Muja, because you're preparing for for delivery and all that, what kind of foods are we talking about here?
Okay, so we are talking about, as I said, grains, cereals, especially oats. Social oats eboa eboa, and okwane emma obo on more feels that the person feels that okay, my way no me putting on weight, but also oats na ye din eboa emma ne maintain your body weight, and then there's also boa emma ye produce a lot of breast milk. Into baby to say oats, obetimi edi, baby to say soya. Obetimi soya ne omu di bi ye Tom Brown kra, obo soya bean na Tom Brown mu e bia soya nkasa nkasa kra obo so ne de aye enkwan and fish powder. Medical casa was so dead in a hotel. It's a fish now, wouldn't make sure say a fish and Yankupon shasso. A powder now, a fish and Yankupon a shasso. Now they are won't quite, and now they are with Gianni. But that day, Gianni is also making sure so all the time you have foods, fats, kakra, a woman. To say medical casa when you're brodo. What imagine kakra, a film now with one man naturally no on your man. On the shade because the condoshe, but don't forget, say at the end of the day, the babies depend on you for survival. So if you are not eating well, you are depriving the baby of the survival. And so once a baby with umoja no from the son, or both no by anemic, umoja form, and also to me grandma or like you abort the baby because of the low level of blood in you. So we encourage that you eat, as I said, eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables. If you can't tolerate banku, replace it with vegetables. Won't mean the rice, or wait me crape, oats, Tom Brown. You own Janny, and Janny be brave, a why a bois, a ma or bar, a bois, time or for your funeral. It's me prepare. Breast no, and money producing enough milk, a brower way.
Okay. Now, when I am done delivery, I need food that will help me get more breast milk. What should I eat?
Okay. Breast milk is mainly water or fluid. And so, yes, not the components that we are talking about. It is fluid that is coming from the human body. So what basically means that it means that whatever the woman takes in should also be watery. So a lot of fluids, just like during pregnancy you take. And then any feed or any food that the mother is not allergic to, you can take it in. Any food. A lot of cereals, a lot of grains. Our mothers used to prepare morikoko, a lot of fiber. A brownie so a grain, and nothing a boy mine. Open say, you take porridge, then within a short time you feel hungry. But breast milk and beba, then you take in another feed. Maybe then they will give you granite soup and also a pea. So seeds, nuts, and all those things. I remember when I was pregnant, I was also schooling, and so this storage and then expressing thing is one thing that I did. And then one seed I remember very well that really helped me, fenugreek powder. Fenugreek, yes. A boy me papa.
Me mo didn't listen. When you listen, I was so sure next time no I can't try one. And fenugreek,
yes. The powder, you just add a little water, then you take. By the time within 30 minutes to 1 hour, then you have a lot of breast milk being produced. Yes, it really helped me.
So you give this advice to your women when they visit you?
And so a lot of seeds, a lot of nuts, oats, everything. Anything that you get your hands on. Fruits, vegetables.
Now, what about food supplements we give to the babies? Is it healthy?
Okay, so I always say that if your doctor has advised you to do that, but it's not right for us to give supplements to the baby because you realize that looking at the breast milk that we are talking about, it has all the supplements that we need. So where else are we looking out for in other drugs that we give to the baby? So it is not advisable to give food supplements to babies. Yes, it is not advisable.
Those things they call Abina,
Abina,
all those. So, just not to say somebody's brand, but I'm just giving, trying to mention examples. Okay, so if only the baby, the doctor has not said so.
Yes.
Okay, so the doctor will say that maybe he has seen something. That is why. So it is not because as soon as or call hospital, yes, so on to we manuti. But it doesn't go like that.
That's not
okay. All right. Some mothers are not able to produce enough breast milk to feed. And what is the cause of this?
Sometimes it's medically investigated.
Okay.
And so those issues, and we have to refer them to the physician. Yes. But initially when the baby is born, the midwives, we do our own thing to help with breast milk flow. Sometimes we add, we try to express and see. We have to add some warmth or something to the breast to help with the dilatation of the arteries and the veins so that breast milk will still flow. If all those things are put in place, but still breast milk is not flowing, then we try to admit the baby and then feed on maybe IV infusions to sustain the baby for some time. But we don't go the formula, no. We still give ourselves some time to try and see if the mother will then. But sometimes, mother has maybe mastectomy done. You are talking about breast.
Yeah.
You're training nufu bako, and an nufu me and then that one, the doctor might recommend.
Do you get cases like that?
Yeah. In cases of breast cancer, where maybe the mother loses the breast, and then when the mother can't breastfeed, then that one the doctor can recommend that. And then we see that some mothers who are on psychotic drugs, antipsychotic drugs, or cancer medications, those ones too, the doctor can recommend that we give them baby feeds. And then mothers with retroviral infections, also giving they are given the options to either exclusively breastfeed or do supplemental feeding. What
kind of retroviral infections like? So mention it so that we know.
People living with HIV. Some of your mom, akwenya say you choose. You don't do mix. Your mom fa fra. Into your mom say akwenya say or power say umbe fa baako. Either you exclusively breastfeed, and I say feed the cry. You go the formula way. And so those are some of the instances the mother can do the what do you call it? Bottle feeding. Yes, supplemental feeding. Yes. Aside those instances, we advise you go strictly exclusive breastfeeding.
With the breasts.
Yes.
Now, is it okay? You know, in the olden days, you hear our mothers saying that, for example, when a baby is born and the mother passed on, then he said, as soon as see baby I mean, giving the child to another breastfeeding mother to be breastfed. Is it good?
As you said, and kind to today, they were doing it. Our grandmothers were doing it, and it was helping them because we don't know the science behind it. But research has proven that it is no good. The reason being that is, one, you don't even know the medical condition of whoever you're giving the child to breastfeed the baby. Maybe the person has been exposed to certain infections or certain viruses that will put the baby at risk. Therefore, it is not advisable to be doing that. Example is, as my sister said, someone who is living with HIV. You don't know the status of the person, then you give your baby to her to breastfeed your baby on. What are you doing? You are rather transmitting this infection to the baby. And then also people with, you don't know, the person has hepatitis B. You can't really tell the virus, and then you are asking another person to breastfeed your child. So it is better we go to the infant feeding rather than giving your child to someone else to feed or breastfeed the child on.
Okay. Yeah. So is it also appropriate to use the formula as you are breastfeeding? So now you breastfeed, then the next 3 hours you give the baby formula. Is it done?
It's not advisable.
Hey, say it again.
It's not advisable.
Why?
Yes, because now we are educating our mothers to feed on demand. And if we are timing ourselves to be feeding our infants every 2 to 3 hours, so now you breastfeed within the first 2 to 3 hours, then the next time you go for the formula. No, the composition of the formula is different. One thing about how God created breast milk is that at every point in time, per every month, the breast milk constituent, it changes.
Oh, wonderful.
To suit the growing baby.
Oh, God is good.
So the nutrients you get in the first month is different from what you get in the second month. Like
it
that.
Graduates.
Yes. But look at our formulas. 6 months, bam. Then 6 months plus, bam. So it's made one for all. You get it. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not advisable.
The
baby might be losing essential nutrients.
Yeah.
Because you said I should go back. The breast milk is made in such a way that per every month, the constituent, it changes.
Yeah.
And so the nutrients you get in the first month,
okay.
Esesa to suit abofrana onye, because aduane bia last week me di yen, this week me nyi chensa. It is about kuni me di bo baako a ene ana ochia but maybe I mean the ball back. And it's God has made this in such a way that per the second week the breast milk can suit the growing age and I'm and it's not any advice I will say you mix the formula and then because the formula is one for all. Send the nutrients in it and into your baby might be underfeeding rather. So but also obi be exclusive breastfeeding. Obe won a banana be initial weight 2 kg and at 2.5. Obe who the baby in the next 6 weeks. That's how they come for the weighing. No, I hear very plumpy. Then you doing the mixed feeding. Not that so obenya weight there, but in the weight no nimunye do. You'll be guessing. But it might be coming from there.
But you see some mothers, anytime they hear the baby crying, the baby like that. Why? Is it good? Or crying means they are hungry.
You need to. I always say that you need to know your child. Sometimes it could be that any the baby is not hungry. Maybe the baby has saw it him or herself that you need to change. And then when you feed, you have time, and then you feed the baby on demand. The baby can really sleep for you to do whatever that you have to do. But if it happens that whilst you are breastfeeding,
all things being equal,
good. Whilst you are breastfeeding, something comes up, you have to stop. You put the baby down, you go and attend to that thing. Immediately the baby realizes that no, my mom is not with me. The baby starts to cry. So you're supposed to have adequate time. That I always say, it's an employment on its own. Have time for your child. Breastfeed your child well to have the adequate, enough breast milk that the child needs. And the child will sleep. If you feed the child very well, the child doesn't really cry a lot. The child will only cry when, as I said, when the child has maybe soiled him or herself, or the baby needs attention. Children sometimes really need attention. My mom is not with me, then I'll cry. Immediately you pick the child up. It is not because of breast milk. When you touch the baby becomes calm, and then in the process the baby sleeps again. So it is not all the time that the baby cries that you're supposed to give breast milk to the child.
Okay, there's a question here. Good evening. I am Esther Kwenu from New Ebrim. Mama Yeda says, so I send you a message. Thanks for the education. My question is, what happens to babies who lost their mothers at birth? Will that affect their mental and physical health? Yes, Mommy Janet.
I'll answer no.
You answer no, okay.
But they are not as smart as those who exclusively breastfeed. Because certainly we are going formula. We'll be going formula for this baby. And so the nutrients that baby will get will be different from what the baby who was exclusively breastfed will be getting.
So what can they be adding at least to top up, since they cannot get it complete? What should they be adding?
Okay, so as she said, basically, with this baby, you are supposed to introduce the baby feed and make sure that we constitute it to the amount that is supposed to be diluted to. Sometimes, because of the cost of the baby feed, we end up diluting it, and the baby does not get the nutrients that it needs. But if you're able to measure it well, dilute it to the level that is supposed to be diluted, then the baby gets the nutrient that he or she needs. We are not disputing the fact that infant's feed is not good. But when there's an instance where the baby is deprived, as she said, the mother died during childbirth, then we need to fall onto the infant's feed.
Mamia said that was a was Saudi Bisayeno. Now, Mama Martha Cluvia, I think committee 6. Does adding turmeric to your soups gives a lot of breast milk? Yeah, the turmeric go young more. Enough breast milk now. Does
yes.
It does.
Yes.
Okay.
Turmeric also is another food supplement. Let me say food supplement that really helps, but it's the natural one. And so far as you are adding to soup, the soup too is in the fluid form. So certainly it is going to increase the fluid quantity in your body, and then you are going to produce more. On the other hand, you can even do turmeric, normal warm water early in the morning, then you take. And as I said earlier, introducing warmth into the body also helps to dilate blood vessels, and then it will also increase breast milk flow. So it enhances breast milk flow.
Now, what advice do you have for us? As mothers, no, how well should we take care of this breast to be sure that whatever it contains is also safe? Can we be applying any kind of pomade just to make it so attractive and Bobby, or how?
Whilst breastfeeding?
Whilst breastfeeding.
Okay. So, I remember when my sister delivered. My mama catch her so. Fonguto ye nufo no ho. Na ma nya hyenhyen no sa na be ma nufo so na ba bebre. So I asked, science be na DHA. It's like, oh, your mother did it. I also did it. Your grandmother also did it, and it's helped. But taking care of the breast. Now you realize that we are in breast cancer month, awareness month, and then the breast is very, very important because at the end of the day, this is where the baby depends on. So if you don't take good care of your breast, if you don't take proper care of your breast, talking about the hygiene aspect, as a breastfeeding mother, I always advise my pregnant women that whilst you are breastfeeding, at a point in time, you might stop to go and do something. You will sweat. When coming back to breastfeed the child again, just get a clean towel, soak it in clean water, and then clean the breast very well before you put the baby to the breast. Whilst you are doing that, you are preventing some germs that is being accumulated there from getting into the baby. So you need to thoroughly clean the breast before you administer it to the child. And then ensure that you wash your hands. You wash your hands with clean soap, with clean water before you even touch your breast. And then when you are bathing too, make sure that you wash the breast very well, especially the folds. And so there are debts which are collected over there. So lift the breast and then clean it very, very well. And then use a lot of water to rinse the breast. After that, you have to clean it very well with a dry towel. And then this will go a long way to also help you.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. The little that I want to add to my sister's one is that right after delivery, right in the lobos, there is this dark dirt at the nipple. So what I advise is that immediately after delivery, before you want to breastfeed, you have to have a clean towel, clean very well the nipple where the baby will start suckling, because it contains a lot of dirt. And if you don't clean it well, it is going straight into the baby's mouth. And that one will even go faster than the colostrum that we are looking for.
Yeah.
And it means we've started introducing infection so early. And then we have this conception that when you don't put on brazier after delivery, it helps with milk flow. We just leave our breast on like that. It's not true. Please, we should keep our breasts very safe.
Okay, I have some questions here. This is from Angela from Mankesim. Angela, thank you so much for your question. It says, I'm a young woman who haven't given birth before, but I have something like a seed in my breast that is making it big. Please, I want to ask what I can be doing, or I need since I need a solution for it.
Okay, so
he says he has something, he feels there's something,
a lump
in the breast. What should he be doing?
Okay. So I will advise her to visit the hospital for further investigations to be done. It could be that as we are still in this breast cancer, I'm not saying that she has breast cancer, but the development of lump gives us another idea that there's something wrong. Therefore, she needs a specialist to be attended to. So you should send the child to the hospital.
Okay, thank you. This is from Efia from Kumasi. Is it advisable for a husband to suck pregnant woman's breast? Yes, Mommy Jane.
No, please.
Hey.
Because as early as 16 weeks, milk production has started. And we know that the colostrum that comes first is what the baby needs first for survival. And so if the father starts suckling and the breast milk starts flowing, it means the adult is going to take the colostrum. And then the baby will be taking the milk, which is not fair. So we don't advise that.
Okay, all right. We still have some few questions. Please, is there any food that can help those who are not brilliant? If, for example, the baby was not able to get the first or get the breast milk, is there? I think we've talked about that, but maybe he's just showing. For those who are not so brilliant. Is there anything we can help them? Anything they can be adding to their food? Or balanced meal is enough?
Yes,
It's enough.
It's enough.
But my little experience with natural remedies, as an Adventist, we mostly do natural remedies. So we advise that they take honey
Okay.
as part of their diet, and it's good. And there's this herb. I
Forgotten, no
Yes.
problem.
But
So
when I get
it,
I'll
you
send
send
it.
it through me. Okay.
But honey is okay.
It's good. All right. Thank you. Now, our last question from Sandra Akosombo. My baby is 7 months old and refusing to eat anything at all. She only takes breast milk. What should I do?
Okay, so there's this mentality, or it's a mental model that people have, that when you exclusively breastfeed your baby tends not to like food at all. They only like the breast milk. I think that when they were trying to introduce the complementary feeds, they started with the sugary foods. Before you introduce a different meal to your child, you need to visit your midwife or your public health nurse to educate you as to which kind of food that this baby needs at this point in time. And then also study the child. Maybe the child likes heavy foods, not normal porridge, normal Cerelac that we've been giving to the child, or this cereals food that we give. But this child likes rice with soup. This child likes
banku and
banku,
fetledechi.
good.
Yes.
And they are giving this child Milo
Okay.
in the morning.
Oh.
They are giving this child cocoa
Okay.
in the morning. No. You need to visit the hospital.
Okay.
Let them
So you have to
educate
try
you. Yes.
all manner of
And then be
foods.
changing
Yeah.
the foods
varieties
all the time.
Yeah.
Today I give the baby this, tomorrow I change it to this.
That will help you to know which
Very
one
good.
the baby likes.
Very good.
Yes. This episode has been a very interesting one. I have learnt a lot, and I'm sure you've also done the same. Please, yankoswa ndi sankomo we fiemu. Yankoswa ni honkomo. No fusuo no, ye maame no atwa say hu hia. Ebeboa ma ye mai enyiye ewa adwen mu, ewa ahoden mu. Ne ye mede pa ne say, it says God, Jesus Christ grew in wisdom and in stature. Me sure say ne mama man no fuso. So baby I will be I keep on encouraging you that please let's give the breast to the little ones. I've been having this discussion with Madam Esther Santua, who is a midwife, and then Madam Janet Owusu-Hema, he's a pediatric nurse specialist. We want to say thank you so much for taking us through this topic on breast cancer, on the family and breast milk. I've enjoyed myself. Same time next week is going to be wow. Since this month is all about breast, keep your breasts safe. Handle it with care. God bless you and good night. Bye-bye.